All right, let's start. So, thank you everyone for attending this panel session. We have here two of our supply ecosystem partners. On my right is Edgard from Edgecore and Bhuvnesh from HFCL. Maybe you guys can take like a quick minute to introduce yourselves.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this session. This is Edgard from Edgecore Network. I'm taking care of business development activities in the EMEA region. Good to have you guys.
Hello, I'm Bhuvnesh and I work with HFCL and I'm responsible for all the new product development, specifically for Wi-Fi and point-to-point radios. And I also take care of business development across the globe. Thank you.
Thank you. So, moving on, I'll just quickly set up the context. We are covering OpenWiFi, and which is one of the primary project groups of TIP, which is based on the premise of a disaggregated hardware and software of the OpenWiFi and how it can revolutionize and make the carrier and the enterprise industry much better in terms of deployments. Similarly, another primary project group here is Open Optical and Packet Transport, which is also based on the same principles of disaggregation of hardware and software. And we are definitely going to cover about from the supply ecosystem partners of how the journey has been in terms of not just disaggregating this, but also in terms of driving commercial adoption. So starting with HFCL, Bhuvnesh, tell us a little bit about HFCL and how you started this journey. What made you, enter into the disaggregated space, because you came from a legacy standpoint. So we would love to hear, your views on this.
Yeah. So it has been an interesting journey. We started developing our own Wi-Fi solutions way back in 2017. We started with a very small R&D team and started to focus on few products, and we wanted to develop an end-to-end solution for the customers. It became 2019 end, almost end of 2.5 years before we launched our first set of products. So it was a two and a half year journey. In 2021, we learned about OpenWiFi and we decided to join the bandwagon. And of course, the community is continuously developing new features. We are also part of the community contributing back on the new feature side, but all it takes is just port the software and start delivering. So from a 2.5 year cycle, of course, that was our first journey. But even when we were doing our own software, even today, if I have to do it, I'll take more than 1 year time. Versus OpenWiFi, which I can start delivering from concept to final commercial availability within 6 months. So that's the advantage we feel is the real one that we get from OpenWiFi.
So follow up to to the advantages that made you enter into the OpenWiFi space and disaggregate this, both on the controller side as well as the hardware side. But what made you get into the TIP ecosystem, and what were those benefits that you got? And we see a lot of global expansion or the hunger for HFCL to actually go global. So how are the two connected, and how is this journey about going commercially live in different parts of the world going for you?
Okay. So when we started doing our own products way back in 2017, HFCL being a traditional system integrator and optical fiber cable manufacturer, we are known in India pretty well. We are one of the established companies. But if you have to sell your product as an OEM across the globe, there are so many things that come in play. And first and foremost being the customer confidence. Why would a network infrastructure provider invest in a new OEM who is not known anywhere? And that is where TIP actually helped us a lot. Having TIP standing behind us, people get confidence. The infrastructure providers or the network builders, they get a confidence that if TIP and a strong community like TIP is standing behind this OEM, there must be some meat in that. So that actually helped us gain entry into many of the customers. And of course, after that, it is the product it has to perform. OpenWiFi has helped us build all the new features that customers wanted. And today, there is a large network deployed base of OpenWiFi across the globe. And I have few customers who are now trialing it in multiple new parts of the world as well. So that has been an exciting journey for us.
Great. So Edgard, moving to you from Edgecore. Edgecore has been one of the most active, one of the most early members of the STIP ecosystem, starting with Open Optical and then moving into Open Wi-Fi. But particularly right now, being at the topic of Open Wi-Fi, you were the first adopters or first developers of, from a hardware point of view and also from a software point of view. So how has this journey, evolved for you and, in supplying to the rest of the world? And we are going to talk about success stories in my next questions.
Yes, okay. So first, thank you, Sandeep, for inviting us. On behalf of Edgecore team, I would like to thank you, and we really appreciate all your help, your support, and managing this session and leading this session. So a quick overview about Edgecore. So we are leaders in open networking industry. So we have been the first contributors in Open Wi-Fi and open networking solution. And we've been working very closely with STIP to deliver the latest innovation to our partners and to our clients. The journey so far was really satisfied. We've been working very closely with you, and like in the last few years, we've been developing a lot of features, a lot of software solution. As well, we were able to develop new communities to promote such idea, such concept to the market. It was not easy, but your support was really helpful for us. So we were able to deliver the solution to our partners.
So another follow-up to that. From a roadmap perspective, and I'll also come to HFCL to touch base on that, but from a roadmap perspective for Edgecore, what is the roadmap in terms of, the evolution you already have? You started off with Wi-Fi 5, you're already supplying Wi-Fi 6. What is the roadmap in terms of, the future-ready networks, in terms of Wi-Fi 7 and others?
So I would like here to highlight one of the main collaboration with STIP was in order to able to understand what is the market, what is needed, and what's coming next in terms of technology. So we've been able to deliver, as you mentioned, the Wi-Fi 5 and 6 to the market, and we've been trying now to develop our Wi-Fi 7. And for sure, I will invite you to follow up on our website and check the latest release on TIP communities pages. It will be as well delivered very soon to the market.
Great. So, Bhuvnesh, coming to the Wi-Fi 7 question, there was big news last year at India Mobile Congress. You launched it in a big way about how Wi-Fi 7, the first Wi-Fi 7 based on open sourcing, and how it is actually going to revamp the next future use cases, whether we are talking about VRs or XRs or ARs. So how do you see Open Wi-Fi playing a role in that particular context? And what made you launch, your Wi-Fi 7 series? And tell the audience a little bit about that.
Okay, so when we started working on Wi-Fi 7, we were very skeptical on how we will do the software because standards is not really finalized yet. And we were working with Qualcomm as our partner for doing all the Wi-Fi 7, and they were also not very sure on how the standard will shape up. So there was a basic SDK available to do some bit of software, but we also borrowed a lot of code from Open Wi-Fi to do the first level software, and it really helped us expedite it with the help of Qualcomm and Open Wi-Fi based software. Of course, we had to do a lot of tweakings to make sure that it is ready for Wi-Fi 7, at least the standard as it stands today. And there was some work required where we had to really develop new part of the features which actually made it Wi-Fi 7 ready. But overall journey, it was shortened to almost 3 to 4 months than what we would have done if we had taken the longer path of doing everything by ourselves. So, of course, at that time when we released our Wi-Fi 7 products, we could not call it Open Wi-Fi because it was not the exact software. But now we believe we have come to a stage where we can start contributing back to the community, and anyone who is developing Open Wi-Fi based Wi-Fi 7, they can start using what we have done already.
So I'll ask you, that brings us to a very, I'll ask you another sort of follow-up question. So you are one of the players from an Indian market, and, the Indian landscaping is very, very different. You're talking about very large volumes, but you're talking about extremely low margins, but those volumes are extremely important, for scaling. So how does, and with the chipset shortages, which all of that happened, what is your view of, and it was during these special times where, the world was suffering, even India was, there was a lot of problems with enterprise grade Wi-Fi solutions coming in. There were hardly any chipsets. How was the reaction, and, how did you take this up?
So initially, like everyone else, we also suffered a lot. Our customers were ready to place the orders, and we had nothing to supply. But we picked the thread, I think, at the very right time, where we started working very closely with our semiconductor suppliers and made sure that our supply chain was optimized to the best possible extent. And when there was a time when all the competitors that we had, they were talking about few months of delivery lead times. We started supplying within 6 to 8 weeks of the orders, any quantity. And today we have been able to maintain even the same pace. Even today, we have a good handle on the supply chain, plus helped by very fast software development based on open standards. And we are able to supply any quantity of any of the units that we have within 6 to 8 weeks.
Brilliant. So, Edgard, moving to our next question. We spoke about India. We spoke about how that market is, both from a demand side, but also from a production and a manufacturing side. And then talking about Taiwan, that's also like the hub, of state of the art, manufacturing and state of the art solutions coming up. So from that perspective, we've seen Edgecore actually being at the front end. There have been some great success stories in the past few months already. I mean, apart from the ones that there were breakthroughs already, particularly talking about, open optical adoption with ISPs like Spectra in India, talking about like one of the largest open optical adoptions with Multinet in Pakistan. Also, open Wi-Fi adoption with Multinet in Pakistan. So, how has this journey been for Edgecore, and what are your views about that? Because this is big news in the ecosystem.
Actually, we are really excited first to be really involved with TIP in all those projects, and you were as well supporting us to promote our mission on how we can transform how the world connects. So we are bringing a new innovation to the market. And I believe that our main success, especially in India and especially in Pakistan, was due to our commitment with TIP to deliver the latest and the updated innovation and technology to the market. We were able to build a strong relationship with our partners and our clients. So we were able to deliver the right product that can meet their requirements. So we were able to understand, we met with the team in India, we met with the team in Pakistan. And I think this strong relation and delivering the very high-end quality and the product and services was able to bring this success. So this Open Wi-Fi project brought to the customers this flexibility to customize their own features, and this is very appealing to them. So they are now controlling their own network. They can customize it. They can build the feature that it is required based on their network. And I believe like this collaboration together led to this success story.
So. That's talking about South Asia primarily, right? I mean, India, Pakistan, the South Asia market. It's a very special market, right? I mean, it's congested, maximum population, as I said, heavy volumes, but low margins. And we were, to be honest, we were skeptical in the beginning, right? Like, how is this ecosystem going to transpire there? And my 2 cents on this is that if you're successful in this part of the region, it's very easy to replicate that success, because anywhere else that you go, the margins are higher and, things become better. So we know a lot of other deployments and a lot of other commercial adoptions that you've been driving. Maybe the audience would be happy to know, over and above South Asia, how has this been transpiring in APAC, in Europe? And I know there are like enough success stories that Edgecore has on the open optical front and as well as in the open Wi-Fi front as well.
So we've been as well, I've been repeating this, very closely working with you on this. We are a member of many communities within TIP. We are working on OOPT, OpenBNG, Open Wi-Fi, DDBR. So it was a great opportunity to have our solution provided worldwide, not only to the special market. We've been expanding our solution to many parts of the world. We've been deploying in Africa, we've been deploying in Turkey, in Europe. We've been working, we've been releasing a lot of press release. Here I would like to highlight a great event was organized by you. It was during FUSE last year in Madrid. We've been releasing during this event 3 press releases. Where we deployed our solution in Turkey for OOPT. We are using our Cassini solution as well with you in South Africa. And as well, we have a lot of success story in Europe. So this collaboration, I don't think that we were able to make it without your support, without our commitment to always find the right technology, the innovation to the market.
So I think just a last sort of comment or question for you guys to talk about. So, you rewind back 5-7 years and you would see, vendors would compete against each other, right? I mean, one vendor would not want to work with the other vendor, but it was a totally different sort of concept which TIP brought about openness and disaggregation. And now what we see is, when we're talking about Edgecore, there's, the other ecosystem partners like IP Infusion, there's, on the hardware side, there's UFI Space, there's Adva and multiple others. Similarly, OpenWiFi. I mean, in my conversations with Bhuvnesh, you guys are open either to, both give the hardware and software by yourself, which is still based on open interfaces, or even, work with partners like Edgecore and others in terms of developing, just providing a software or whatever it is. So how do you feel, with this ecosystem coming in closer together with partners and developing and actually driving commercial adoption from a vendor point of view or a technology provider point of view? What is your feeling about it? Like, how has that changed?
So for me, it was a tough sell internally within the organization itself, why we should collaborate with our competition. But eventually what we realized is the consumer has to win eventually. And if consumer wins, everyone wins. So what we realized when we speak to our customers, they may not be interested to go with one particular OEM and get logged on with that particular OEM. And that makes it difficult for any second entrant to enter. So it is the one who goes there early is able to crack and he wins the deal. But eventually customer starts to suffer in the longer run because they are left with no choice. With this kind of with this kind of model, customer eventually is happy.
Correct.
We are able to offer them whatever he is ready to take. So it's not that even if I'm a third or a fourth or a fifth entrant, I have something to offer to the customer, and it's their choice what they want. They would want to try everything and choose what works best for them, and they have an opportunity to just pick and choose from multiple suppliers. And the best thing is everything works together. You do not have to really worry about interoperability, don't have to worry about integrating things with each other. It just works.
Well, from my side, I believe that this concept of open networking, we changed the business model in the industry. So we brought to the customer this flexibility and this control to his own network. So yes, there is always a competition there, but as well as mentioned, we are offering the freedom to the customer to choose, and he can integrate, he can migrate, he can deploy very easily, very smoothly to the network. So this has encouraged the customer to go to the open source, open networking solution, and I think this is what we are promoting. We don't want any more locked in solution. Let us go very open. Anyone can have access to this, to enjoy the feasibility of the open networking solution.
Perfect. I think what gives me most happiness is concluding a panel right on time. Usually we go beyond that.
Yeah.
But I think amazing comments, and it was really important to emphasize on the experience of how interoperability and how the mindset of technology providers itself is actually evolving in terms of working together. Because, collaboration brings about better benefits, as you rightly pointed. If the consumer wins, everyone wins. So thanks a lot, Edgar. Thanks a lot, Bhuvnesh, for joining.
It
was such a pleasure to have this conversation with you, and looking forward to many more collaborations together.
Sure. Thank you, Sandeep.
Thank you, everyone.